You are born in darkness, not in a home, not in silence, but in a cramped, creaking cabin where the walls breathe salt and the ceiling groans under the odor of waves. The air is thick, soaked with rum, sweat, and old wood that has survived more storms than the people on this ship. The vessel rocks slowly, as if the ocean is lulling you from your very first breath, claiming you before you even open your eyes. Somewhere above you, the wind roars, tearing at the sails, and there is laughter, rough, hoarse, not joyful, but surviving. This is not a home. This is life, the only one you will ever know. You grow up not among walls, but among ropes, barrels, and knives. Your cradle is a hammock that creaks with every movement of the ship. You learn to hold on before you learn to walk. Your hands grab everything, ropes, planks, чужие кортки, when the ship suddenly tilts. You fall often, but no one picks you up. Here, no one lifts you. Here you learn to stand on your own. The old sailors don't notice you at first, but you're always there, watching, listening, remembering. You quickly understand. Words mean less here than actions. The one who talks too much does not live long. The first thing you realize, the sea is always stronger. It is neither evil nor kind, it simply exists. It takes without warning and never gives back. You see this early. One of the sailors slips during a storm. His hand slides off, he screams, but the scream is swallowed by the wind. No one jumps after him, no one tries to stop the ship. The captain doesn't even turn around, and you stand there, gripping a wet plank, watching a man disappear into the black water. In that moment, you understand. If you let go, no one will come looking for you either. By the age of 5, you already keep your balance better than you could ever walk on land. You don't know what streets or cities are. Your world is the horizon, an endless line where sky meets water, but never touches. Sometimes you think there is something beyond it, but no one speaks of it seriously. Because for people like you, the world ends where land begins. Land is danger, laws, gallows. The sea is freedom. If you are ruthless enough to hold on to it. They give you a knife before you learn to read. It is heavy, cold, real. An old sailor with one eye says, not for defense, for survival. You don't argue, you don't ask questions, you just hold it tighter with each passing day. You learn to clean fish, cut ropes, and one day, flesh. At first your hands tremble, then they don't. The first storm you remember comes at night. The sky disappears. Everything becomes black, except for rare flashes of lightning that, for a moment, tear faces out of the darkness, distorted, soaked, almost inhuman. Waves slam into the hull as if trying to rip the ship in half. They tie you with a rope so you won't be swept away. Water floods your face. You choke, cough, but you hold on. Because you already know to let go means to vanish. And at some point, among fear, noise, and pain, you feel something strange. Not terror, exhilaration. The ocean roars, and you are inside it, alive, and that feeling stays. By the age of 10, you are already part of the crew, even if no one says it out loud. You carry water, scrub the deck, haul barrels. Your hands grow rough, your skin cracks, but you don't care. You learn to look at the sky and understand what comes next. You learn to feel the wind even before it arrives. You begin to understand the ship as if it were alive. It creaks differently when it is calm and when it is angry. And you learn to listen. One day you spot another ship. Small, slow, a merchant vessel. At first you don't understand why everyone comes alive, why some laugh, others check their weapons, and some simply stare ahead in silence. But then you see the captain change. His gaze becomes different. Sharp, like a blade. He gives an order, and the ship seems to awaken. The sails tighten, the ropes strain. People move quickly and precisely. You feel something tighten inside you. It is not fear, it is anticipation. When you close in, everything happens too fast. Hooks fly, catching onto the чужой board. The ships collide. Wood cracks, screams, footsteps, steel against steel. Someone shoves you forward, and you find yourself on a чужой deck. You are not ready, but you are already in it. A man stands before you. He is not ready either. You look at each other for a fraction of a second. Then he moves. You, faster. You do not think. You simply strike. And he falls. You stand there, breathing heavily, staring at your hands. They tremble. Your mind is empty. No thoughts, no feelings. Only noise, loud as a storm. Around you, the fight continues. But for you, everything has already changed. You have taken the first step, and there is no way back. After the first fight, you are no longer who you were in the morning. It doesn't happen suddenly, without a loud sound inside, without some clear moment. The world simply becomes quieter, and you become harder within it. You no longer look at people the same way. Faces stop being faces. They become targets, movements, threats. You quickly learn not to remember them, because if you remember, you start to think. And to think on the deck during a fight means to be too late. You return to your ship with Chuzha Krov on your hands and for the first time, understand. Now you are truly part of the crew. Not a child among them, not a shadow, but someone who has done what is required. No one praises you. They don't praise here. But one of the old sailors nods silently, and that is enough. Years pass not as time, but as a chain of storms, raids, and quiet nights when the ocean seems endlessly calm, almost dead. You grow. Your shoulders become broader, your movements more precise, your vzglad heavier. You learn to handle a blade as if it were an extension of your hand. You learn to shoot, tie knots, read a map, though more often you rely not on it, but on the captain's instinct and the sky. You begin to understand the people around you, who will break under pressure, who will betray for gold, who will stand until the end. This knowledge becomes more important than strength. The captain grows old. It is not visible at once. At first, in small things. He thinks longer before giving an order, speaks less, comes up to the deck at night more rarely. Then, in his eyes, fatigue appears there. Not from a single storm, not from one battle, from an entire life. You notice how the crew begins to look at you. At first rarely, then more often. When the captain gives an order, someone still glances at you, as if checking whether you agree. You do not seek this, but you accept it. One night, they call you into the cabin. The same cabin where you once lay in a hammock and stared into the cracks in the ceiling. Now you stand there straight, confident. The captain pours rum. 2 glasses. His hands are still steady, but you can see it takes effort. You remain silent for a long time. Beyond the walls, the ship creaks. The wind hums in the ropes. Finally he says, "The sea does not keep the weak." You do not answer, because this is not a conversation. This is a test. He looks at you, and there is no anger in his gaze, only understanding. The next day, everything is decided without words. No one announces anything. No one gathers the crew. But everyone knows. When the captain comes out onto the deck, you are already there. The men stand a little differently than usual. A little farther from him, a little closer to you. It is a thin line, but you feel it. He feels it too. He does not drag it out, does not ask, does not explain. He simply steps forward. The fight is short. He is still dangerous. Faster than you expected. His blade nearly finds you twice. But you are already different. You do not hesitate. You do not doubt. You strike precisely. And when it ends, he falls not with a scream, but quietly, almost calmly. His body goes overboard, and the sea takes him, as it has taken all before him. Without questions, without a trace. You do not look down. Now you are the captain. The first days pass in tension, not because of enemies, because of your own men. You feel their gazes. They test you. Every order, every decision. You do not try to be liked. You do not explain. You simply lead. Clearly, harshly, without hesitation. And gradually, the ship adjusts to you, just as you once adjusted to it. You change course, not only in direction, but in what your crew becomes. You begin to take larger targets, more dangerous ones. Warships, guarded caravans. You play on the edge, and you like it. There is something familiar in it. The same feeling you had in the storm when you were a child. Fear and exhilaration, mixed together. Victories come one after another. Gold accumulates, rum flows like a river. The crew laughs louder than before. But you do not relax, because you know, the higher you rise, the faster you fall, and the sea does not forgive confidence. One morning, the horizon brings not prey, but a threat. At first, dots, then silhouettes. 3 ships, warships, fast, coordinated. They are heading straight for you, without hesitation, without fear. You understand immediately, this is not chance, this is a hunt. You give the order to change course. The sails turn, the ropes tighten. But the wind is weak, not enough. The ship obeys, but slowly. Too slowly. The first volley tears through the air. Wood cracks, splinters fly, someone falls. The screams return. The same ones you have heard since birth. Only now you are inside them not as a child, but as the cause. You do not panic. You do not shout. You move. You give orders shortly, clearly. The men obey, because now their lives are in your hands. The battle drags on. You are faster than they expected, harsher, more dangerous, but they are more numerous, disciplined. They do not break. Second volley, third. A sail tears. A mast creaks dangerously. You understand? There will be no victory, but there will be no retreat either. When they come to board, you meet them first. Not because you must, because there is no other way. You fight not for gold, not for the ship, but to remain yourself until the end. At some point everything blends together. Screams, steel, blood, footsteps. You no longer distinguish faces, only movements, strikes, breathing. And suddenly, silence. Not real, internal. You stand in the middle of the deck, breathing heavily. Around you, smoke, wreckage, bodies. The sea is calm again, as if nothing has happened. You look at the horizon, the same as it has always been. And for the first time in your life, you do not know where to go next. But the sea gives no answers. It only waits, and you understand. All you have is the next step, and you take it.